Strong Dads wants to thank Quality Auto Mart for joining us as a sponsor. Quality Auto Mart was born in 1985. They are owned and operated by Mark and Nancy Repke. Quality Auto Mart provides all the services, repairs, and maintenance for your vehicle's needs with a 3-year auto parts and labor warranty. They offer complimentary vehicle safety inspection and estimates. Also, they offer a shuttle service, and the 4th oil change is always on them. They are located at 7307 on State Road 46 in Batesville, Indiana. Make sure you give them a call at 812-934-2301.
Welcome to Strong Dads. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm good.
How are these parables treating you, man?
Been very convicting. We'll say that. Been very convicting.
I like the association part, right? Like I like how Jesus is just so cool, how he talks the language of the people.
I like it.
Versus trying to be all high and mighty and trying to get people to understand stuff that they don't really either understand or don't care to understand.
Well, I think for this show we should just read the parable and then just end it, because I really don't want to. I don't want to get into too much of the why I struggle and why this is bad for me, because this one's gonna like smack me right in the freaking face. So.
I think all summer long this might be the one that hurts the most. I don't know, but
all right.
I almost took it off the list. and that just human nature.
Yeah.
Can I just pass on that one, please? Yeah, so today the parable that we're going to talk about is the parable of the unmerciful servant. Mine doesn't say this, but is the jerk. The jerk. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be reading out of Matthew 18. And I kind of added a little bit to this. It's 23 through 35, mostly because I want, if you just read the parable itself, it's like to, I think, verse 31. But you got to read the bottom part of that, because you actually see what happens to the dude when he doesn't behave
so
well.
You don't want to just have the wound. You want to throw salt in it.
That's
too,
right,
baby.
We're going to make it hurt good. All right. Let's thank our sponsors and let's roll.
I like it. Yep. Thanks so much for Quality Auto Mart. I was doing really good. The first 2 parable shows. I did really good.
Did all right. Yeah.
Quality Auto Mart and Casey Outdoor Solutions for coming alongside of us. I'm sure in the big heat here, we're in the heat wave, getting ready for summer to really kick us in the rear. So check both those places out to let them know we sent you up there. I really do appreciate Quality Auto Mart and Casey Outdoor Solutions.
All right. I was up there at the Quality Auto Mart just the other day and got a muffler clamp repaired and fixed, and the guys did me well. So go out there and talk to Fred. He's running the boat and the show out there, and he loves what we're doing with Strong Dad. So give him a shout out if you get a chance.
Good deal. Yeah. So as we have the last 2 shows, let's read the parable, and then we'll dive into it and try and figure out and try and figure out how it's applicable to our life.
Okay. All right. I'm going to read out of the NIV, the New International Version. Okay. So here we go. Starting on Matthew 18, verse 23. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Since he was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. That sounds reasonable. At this, the servant fell on his knees before him. Be patient with me, he begged, and I will pay back everything. The servant's master took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. But when that servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver coins. He grabbed him and began to choke him. Pay back what you owe me, he demanded. His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him, be patient with me, and I will pay it back. But he refused. Instead, he went off and he had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called the servant in. You wicked servant, he said, I canceled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you? In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay back all that he owed. This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother or sister from your heart. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the parable today.
Sounds good.
I
Have a
hope
good night.
we'll be done. Enjoy your summer. Man, this one here, Kyle, there's so many things in this. The idea that he had to sell everything he had, and even himself and his wife and his kids. So that's actually. So we talk about slavery. Slavery back in biblical times took on different forms, but one of the forms was, hey, if you owed a great debt, you basically became this servant to whoever you owed the debt to, and rather than getting paid a wage, so to speak, you would work off your debt, okay? And so he had his entire family having to work this off in order to do this, or that's what would have had to happen. But what does the master do here, which really blows my mind?
Yeah, he forgives the debt.
Yeah, he doesn't say, just take your time, pay it back slowly.
I'll put you on a plan, a payment plan.
I'll put you on a payment plan. 0% interest if you start now, Like, he doesn't do any of that. He forgives the debt. And so this just goes way above and beyond what we're even used to in our culture. It's just forgiven, okay? But then the old butthead goes outside. Now, what do you think is going on inside his head when he leaves the master and he goes out there? I don't know. Give me your input.
Well, you called him a butthead. I feel like you just called me a butthead because this is me, right? I can put myself in this shoes. You basically get a second chance, right? Someone's giving you basically, I forgive you, right, for what you've done, the crap that I've done in my life, and it's like you walk away from that thinking, all right. Awesome. Like you get the warm and fuzzies, right? You're feeling really good about where you're at. You're like, all right, I got this new start. I can start over. I don't have to worry about that old thing. And then all of a sudden, so you see someone who's done you wrong, right? And instead of reciprocating the forgiveness that you received, you're like, I got to point that finger, right? You've wronged me before, and I think in a lot of ways, man, I think we do this with our spouses.
Yeah,
I think I know for sure I do. It's just like my wife has got to be one of the most forgiving people I've ever met, and man, how quick I am to sometimes not forgive her for when she wrongs me, or I feel like she's wronged me. Like how quick I am to say, like, all right, well, Jenny, like you screwed up here. You did this against me, but I know for sure if roles were reversed, and they are reversed in a lot of ways, like she just forgives me, and it's just like you come away from it like, all right, cool. Like I'm not damaged goods here, right? Like she's giving me a fresh start, a new start, and it's like, but I'm so quick to turn the page and say, well, no, like you have to do X, Y, Z's in order to make up the wrongs you've done to me.
Yeah, there's something in this parable that I think is worth pointing out, and that is when the master forgives the man, the man is still not grateful. He doesn't have gratitude. He actually is just relieved, right? And he's still fearful. He's fearful of, man, that was so uncomfortable. That I thought I was going to lose my head here. I thought this guy was going to throw me. And so he's still not grateful. He's just relieved. And because he's not grateful, he's still scared. He's not able to actually absorb the moment and actually enjoy, like, oh my gosh, and actually relax. Instead, he's still filled with tension. And right away, his brain is, I don't ever want to go through that again. That was too nerve-wracking. And so right away, he does what us men can often do. He goes out and he seeks to blame. The reason in his mind that he got in this trouble was because people didn't pay their debts back to him. And so he's functioning out of fear, and that's why that comes out in the anger towards this other guy. And so we have to understand the gift and be able to accept a gift. Right? This was a gift that the master gave him, but the guy still thinks it's all about what he's got to do, and he hated the position he was in. And so right away, rather than just owning it and owning how it came out, he right away was going to seek vengeance, because in his mind, he's saying, I don't ever want to get back in that position again, rather than just saying, wow, I don't ever want to get back there, but I'm so thankful for how that guy handled it.
You know, the crazy thing, Merle, one of the commentaries that I use a lot it's called the Enduring Word. And just looking at the Enduring Word, the crazy thing is the unmerciful servant, the amount that he owed the actual owner, like what he owed him compared to what the other servant owed him. Yeah. It was the commentary says is 1/6,000. So 600,000. So basically the debt that his fellow servant owed him was so minuscule compared to the amount that he actually owed the master. And it's just crazy that the master forgave such a large debt, but then he won't even forgive the debt of a fellow servant. I mean, it talks about how that fellow servant owed him roughly about 100 days wage. So I mean, it's just crazy the amount of money, or the amount whatever the correlation or the translation is, the amount of money that he owed the master versus his fellow servant, and how the master forgave this massive amount of debt versus the actual servant. So it's crazy.
So this parable reminds me a whole lot. It prompts a couple of different things. It prompts me to understand ideas of empathy and judgment and mercy. Okay, and so the judgment part is a lot of, you've heard the story of the stop staring at the speck in your neighbor's eye and pay attention to the plank in your eye. So again, that speaks to the magnitude or size of the issue. But empathy here, guys, I often think that we've done entire shows on empathy, and I think men get empathy wrong because it sounds like something from a counseling session that's mostly related to women. It just does, okay? Right. Oh, he's not empathetic. But the idea here is, you better learn how to walk in other people's shoes. You better learn. Before you get all high and mighty, you better step back and go, well, I wonder what's going on in that guy's world. And so the idea of being able to, if that guy would have walked out and saw the person who owed him money and said, hey, I do want to talk to you. It's not like I'm just forgiving you the debt without any conversation. I do want to know your story. Yeah. Right? I want to know your story. And remember, the master forgave that guy because he begged, and he basically was probably crying out his story. Yeah. And the master had empathy. Right. And so this is us understanding, before you get all high and mighty on your way, it does us well to practice walking through somebody else's shoes. Yep. Right. And that last word is mercy. And that mercy, the idea of mercy here is not getting what you deserve, in terms of the punishment. Like, well, you deserve death, but you get life. Yep. And mercy is tough when we want to pay people back.
Right. Murray, as you were talking before, this, and I may have shared on this show before, but a while ago, when I was a part-time fireman and I was working multiple different firehouses, and I was getting burnt out. And I remember talking to my brother about my frustration and just that I was burnt out and just getting frustrated. Like, these people, they call for the same thing over and over and over again. They expect us to always show up and always treat them. And it's just like, and I just went through this big, long, I was venting, right? I was just like, I just don't get it. Why do these people keep calling for the same thing over and over and expect us to come and take care of them when they don't even take care of themselves, right? And my brother looked at me, he's like, well, it's a good thing Jesus didn't say that, right? Yeah. and it is so true. And I think it goes right back to this parable. It's just like, man, we have to understand the compassion and the gratitude and the mercy. We have to have these for other people because we want the same in return, especially when it comes to Jesus forgiving us and showing the mercy and giving us the grace that we don't deserve, but how awesome it is that he did.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I mean, this is by no means making the statement that all debts are always forgiven. Like, if we are to pay back issues of wrongs, and that's part of the justice. That also, there's a whole different side of the story of the justice of Christ. Right. And so that we're not to do away with that, but we definitely have to season the things together, the two together, and so it takes some thought to do that. I think if there's one thing other than the judgment part that sticks with me here, I would do well to start doing a whole lot better job of practicing gratitude. The number of people who have probably given me a break in my life, and I just either Didn't give it any thought. Just went, oh, hey, thanks a lot, and went on my way and didn't actually serve up the gratitude in my mind as it should be, is where I have fallen short, and it allows me to quickly forget what people did great for me. So gratitude, just being thankful, man, like that you're not constantly being cut off at the knees.
Yep. Yeah, good deal. So, I mean, as we kind of went through again, the unmerciful servant, man, I hope this, I know for me, it smacked me right in the face. If it didn't for you, maybe you're a better man than me. Maybe you need some reevaluation, because I think there's so much, application to this parable for us as men, and just, to go through and to look at, sometimes we're just ungrateful, and for the people who have forgiven us, we need to reciprocate that and be ready to forgive and ready to show mercy for people.
All right. So we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Quality Auto Mart and Casey's Outdoor Solutions. So tell those guys thanks. Also, again, if we could ever help you, please reach out. Do us a favor. Share the show. 5-star ratings. The whole works, guys. Get the message out. Let's see what we can do to continue to build men into strong dads. Sign us off, brother. Let's get out of here.
Good deal. Yeah. Stay tuned for the next parable next week. So really appreciate you guys. Go out there and be some strong dads.
Casey's is a premier garden center and gift shop located in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Casey's offers a wide selection of plants, landscaping materials, home and garden decor, and gifts for every occasion. Casey's is committed to providing exceptional service, a unique shopping experience, and value to every customer. Stop in and see what makes Casey's so unique. Located at 21481 State Line Road, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, or call 812-537-3800. Let Casey's help you add beauty to your home.